ARK Invest was founded to focus solely on disruptive innovation.
Hello.
Houston, we have a problem.
ARK Invest just announced ARKX, which will be their 6th ARK ETF, and it will be focused on space-related businesses. Today, let's talk about one SPAC called New Providence Acquisition and a stock called CPS Technologies that I think could literally be sent into outer orbit right now as a result. Stick around. These are two stocks you cannot afford to be in the dark on. Keep it simple. For those of you new to the channel, I am the Simple Trader. I share with you explosive stocks that I'm looking to buy or already have sitting in my freedom portfolio. I am not a financial advisor, so please understand this is all just for entertainment. Full disclosure, I have a small position in NPA which I took out a few weeks ago as soon as the merger news came out, and I just loaded up a small position on Monday in CPSH around the $7.50 mark. Let me know in the comments what you think of these stocks moving forward. No more plugging, let's start drilling. I think it was only a matter of time before ARK Invest took up positions in some of these space exploration related stocks, considering they are at the pinnacle of disruptive, innovative investing. It was no surprise to me then that they would consider a space-related ETF. The timing couldn't be any better with the start of 2021 and a great forward-looking year to innovation and exponential growth in this sector. ARKX was filed with the SEC on the 13th of January and states it will become effective 75 days after filing, which puts us around the end of March. The filing states that ARK believes space exploration companies can be grouped into 4 categories, each of which contains relevant sub-elements. Orbital aerospace companies are companies that launch, make, service or operate platforms in the orbital space, including satellites and launch vehicles. Simply put, any company that's going to be sending anything into space. Suborbital aerospace companies are companies that launch, make, service or operate platforms in the suborbital space, including drones, air taxis and electric aviation vehicles. Simply put, anything that's going to be sending anything into the air within the earth. Enabling technologies are companies that create the technologies required for successful value-added aerospace operations. Those include artificial intelligence, robotics, 3D printing, materials, and energy storage. Simply put, any companies that are providing anything for the companies that are making the things that either fly in the earth or fly in space. Aerospace beneficiary companies are companies that stand to benefit from aerospace activities, including agriculture, internet access, global positioning system GPS, and construction and imaging. Forget the fancy vocabulary. To me, that just signifies it could be any company in the whole world. I think every investor in the whole world is trying to figure out who's going to appear in ARKX. But at this moment, we can only speculate which companies will appear in ARKX and who will be in the top 10 holdings. What is almost certain though is companies like Virgin Galactic and Maxar Technologies will likely be added to this ETF. Although I see these stocks blowing up as a result of ARKX, I don't really want to focus on these, and I want to hunt down some value and exponential growth plays that are not on everyone's radar yet. Having said that, ARKX may well be worth looking into yourself. Think about this. ARKG is their genomic fund, and since inception has returned an average rate of 22.9% yearly. So if you want a reduced risk exposure to the space sector, then loading up on ARKX could be the touchdown play for you. That leads us to NPA, New Providence Acquisition Corp, IPO'd in September 2019, and 1 year later it announced its merger with AST Science on the 16th of December. This is something that we investors do need to factor in when investing in a SPAC. As you can see, it took these guys over a year to secure a merger. With the announcement of the merger, the share price exploded up to around the $14 range. A slight pullback then followed in early January back down to the $12 levels until the news broke of ARKX during the after-hours trading session on Wednesday that saw a huge upward spike of 13%. Currently, as I'm recording, the stock is up big and trading near the $15 range. AST Science is a potential game-changing company with huge visions, and as per ARKX, they would fall into the orbital aerospace company. They are literally going to space and sending satellites into orbit with one aim and one aim only, and that is to provide a continuous worldwide mobile coverage to the billions of people on planet Earth. Think about this. The wireless mobile network sector is a $1 trillion industry, and only 49% of the world's current population have access to a mobile phone. The problem is simply this. Mobile networks are limited by range and coverage. I'm sure you have experienced this all too many times, and we are further reminded of this annoying issue in numerous movies.
Is anyone getting a signal out here?
No one can get a signal up here.
I can't get a signal.
Oh, still no signal.
There's no signal.
Find a signal?
No, nothing.
Well, this phenomenon could be fully eradicated once AST Science's network of satellites are fully deployed. It will simply change the way we think about mobile networks forever, and it will stop movies from using this as a plot line that always gets me frustrated. The whole concept of the business is game changing, and for me would spark the next revolution in mobile networking. Looking at their game plan, they will start launching satellites in 4 phases, starting with coverage for equatorial countries, then North America, Europe and Asia, followed by full global coverage by phase 3. Phase 4 will be speed enhancement for existing services. Okay, so they claim to have over 750 patents providing technology barriers to any potential competition. Someone needs to fact check that. But if we take their word for it, this seems to be a monopoly, and I like to invest in monopolies. The business aims to be revenue generating by 2023, so we have to wait a couple of years so that they can finish phase 1 deployment and services. So, however, looking at the projections, this is where I think the company gets interesting. They are projecting a potential EBITDA of $1 billion by 2024, which represents huge exponential growth. And check this, they are projecting an EBITDA of $16 billion by 2030. This is just by assuming their business model does not change over 10 years and they find no other use for their global expansive data network. You know, those satellites in the air only doing one thing. I'm sure they will think of other ways they can make revenue. They have already got big backers in Vodafone, Rakuten and AT&T, just to name a few, who will also have people sitting on their board. It's like an integration. This kind of technology, it's obvious that some governments are going to want to get a piece of the action, as we can see from the US Senate alone. Now for the juicy part. If we have to value this company, it will be based on future growth. They have a pro forma valuation upon merger of $1.3 billion based on a forward 2024 EBITDA of $1.4 billion. Now, the SPAC shares make up only 13% of outstanding shares. There is, however, no debt on pro forma, which is a huge deal. Insider shareholders are subject to a 12-month lockup, meaning a sell-off is not coming anytime soon upon merger. Employee stock options are further locked up for 2 years. I think NPA stock will run up massively in the coming weeks ahead of the merger, and based on the ARKX news, at the current price of around $15, I think it will explode past $20 very soon and is well worth at least adding to your watch list. If ARKX does add NPA, then I can see a 2x to $30 as being the minimum threshold for this stock come April. CPS Technologies is a less well-known stock that is up 112% on Tuesday due to various catalysts. CPS Technologies specialize in MMCs, which are metal matrix composites. These are new age materials created by combining metals with ceramic fibers, and what excites me about the company is that they are a company involved in what ARKX classifies as an enabling technology space. They essentially develop composite materials which have a huge diversified application, and one of them being in aerospace. Think about this. They supplied materials for NASA's Perseverance rover Mars project, and I can't think of any more state-of-the-art than that. What we should also factor in is their materials technologies are already validated if NASA is already using them. Their materials used in the defense space is also very interesting, and they are used for armor to plate up vehicles and to provide superior protection for vehicles against ballistic threats. Ceramic armor is their state-of-the-art material which can be deployed for this. They already have various patents for these technologies of advanced ballistic proof materials to go along with their other patents for various MMCs. I see another massive catalyst in their supply of materials in the renewable space. Think about Biden's green energy plan, and you can imagine the potential moving forward. Now, what is impressive are the third quarter 2020 results, which have CPS actually turning profitable. This is huge, and they even highlighted they were affected by the pandemic, where some orders from their clients have had to be delayed. When we look at the industry for leading metal composites, we see some big players such as 3M and Materion. So for me, CPS is a strong value play for that exponential growth we are trying to find. So why is the stock exploding now, and why do I think it'll have a good run up this year? It's simple. I believe there is a big change in sentiment in the world today as a result of the pandemic last year. For example, we saw the EV boom, and now we are seeing the genomics boom catching up, which I think both sectors will continue to grow exponentially for the next few years. The markets that will boom next, though, will likely be the renewable energy sector, especially under Biden's new policies. Now, CPS delivers materials to all of these sectors, so that just makes this, for me, a compelling investment opportunity. As long as these sectors are continuing to develop and move forward, there will be an increased need for improved and new materials to replace the materials of the past and current. The market cap of CPS is currently still sub 100 million. Think about that. For me, this company is still hugely undervalued, and I think over the next 6 months we can see it doubling up with some ease. This makes it a strong play for me. The likely catalyst would be the coming fourth quarter 2020 results, and this is a big if they get into ARKX, it could send the stock to the moon. Thank you for watching, and remember that all the content in this video is based on my own research, and you should take this with precaution. Please ensure you do your own due diligence and speak to a professional before you look to invest any of your money. If you are interested in other huge growth stocks that could make you tons of money, please check out my other videos. For more huge growth stock picks, analysis and updates, please stay tuned and consider subscribing to my channel so you get the information first. I am The Simple Trader, and we will simply see you next time.